just trying to talk you into this grand adventure. We're the East Texas Communities Foundation. We're a nonprofit corporation, just like each one of you. We have our 501c3 public charity status, so when people make contributions to us, for example, through this giving day, they get their tax receipt, just like you would give them a tax receipt. We serve individuals, so individuals might come to us with a particular charitable project or initiative they're trying to accomplish, or nonprofit organizations. We work with a number of you hosting endowment funds or designated funds to help you in your work. We serve a 32-county region of East Texas. It's a big swath of land, about 22,000 square miles, and 1.3 million people live in that area. So great group of folks, lots of wonderful communities, each with very distinct personalities, how they like to do charitable giving. So a little bit like herding cats sometimes to work in a region like that. We offer this idea of charitable fund administration. So we offer 7 different types of charitable funds that hit each of those kinds of different objectives of either donors or nonprofits, managing endowment funds, managing donor-advised funds, scholarship funds for specific individuals that want to achieve something specific in the scholarship area, that type of thing. So a little quick summary on our history. We were founded in 1989. We're 27 years old now. In that 27 years, we've raised $116 million from public contributions, made $62 million in grants out to charities, and we currently have just under $80 million in assets in 270 different charitable funds. So instead of us being like one private foundation that has one lump sum of money, we're a public foundation that has 270 different and very distinct funds with all charitable purposes in mind, set up by the donor. About 42 million of our assets are what we consider endowed funds, about 125 of those funds. So one of the things we try to do, we ask ourselves, what can we do to affect philanthropy in East Texas? One of the things we try to do is motivate people and organizations to increase their philanthropy. So in that regard, we've conducted a transfer of wealth study to try to help you and your donors and your board understand the transfer of wealth that's taking place in our region. We offer some education programs from time to time that may give you some tips or ideas on how to tackle all the philanthropic initiatives and all the fundraising that you're trying to do. We also try to communicate relevant messages about philanthropy from time to time. So, for example, after Trump's election and leading into 2017, what's the tax landscape look like? I'll give you a hint. There's probably going to be tax reform next year, and it's probably going to have some level of impact on the deductibility of charitable gifts. Exactly what that looks like, it's hard to tell. You know, everybody likes lower taxes, but when there's a lower tax rate, that reduces the incentive to take a deduction for charitable gifts. So the news for each of you is make sure you're focusing on your case for support. Tax reform is going to come. You can't prevent it. There's certainly great efforts underway to try to encourage our lawmakers to protect the charitable deduction. But at the end of the day, it comes back to what are you doing and how do you communicate that with people that you want to help support your organization. That will be an even stronger message when tax incentives have to be reduced. Another thing we do is East Texas Giving Day. We have ventured into this last year to provide an online platform for charitable giving throughout East Texas. So that's one of the other initiatives that we've done. One of the things we do to help donors, the individuals that come to us, we offer those 7 different types of funds that might meet a donor's specific charitable interest. We try to provide those at low cost and as convenient as possible for donors. So a donor can give perhaps a gift of appreciated stock or a gift of real estate or something like that that might be a big, fairly complex gift. And then the funds from that allow them to give to multiple charities. So you may see the back end of that from gifts or distributions from a donor-advised fund, whereas we kind of helped on the front end to receive that gift. We provide some philanthropic education for our donors, giving them different ideas about how to do charitable giving and providing advice for them when they ask on what's going on in certain areas, in certain communities, or in certain kind of issues or initiatives. We try to help educate them. What do we do to help nonprofits? Again, we provide some education opportunities. This is one. As we all kind of figure out what social media fundraising looks like, we're learning along with you on that. We try to focus on short-term and kind of long-term objectives. We try to help with planned giving initiatives and endowment building. So if you're struggling with that or trying to figure out whether you need to get into that, or you just think it's all passing you by and going to A&M, talk to us and we'll help you figure that out and make sure that some of that stays here with you. The transfer wealth study is one of those pieces of education we've done in the past, and we'll continue to update that as time goes by. We also offer for nonprofits this sophisticated investment management. I looked that up today as I was kind of going through the slide. I'm like, sophisticated, is that a conceited word? It really, the definition is, it's something that's complex. So when we say sophisticated investment management is a complex situation. It's a complex effort, and it takes some focused attention. So when we go out and recruit board members for our board, we look for some people with that particular knowledge, because that's something we have to do very well. So we provide that investment management, and you can come on board with a fund with us and take advantage of that without having to reinvent the wheel and try to manage and maintain an investment committee. We accept, as I mentioned a minute ago, a wide variety of assets. So somebody can give us something more complex, and we handle all the details in receiving a gift like that, such as a car or a piece of land or a house or something like that, so that then the proceeds from that can be used very easily by your charities. This allows you and your boards to focus on what you do best, and we handle all the kind of wonky stuff that we do best. And now, to talk a little bit about East Texas Giving Day, I'm going to attempt to start the video. Something like that is. Pause it.
The nonprofit world is such an amazing place. Back it up all the way.
Doesn't sound like Jennifer's stuttering. Can't we let the gray bar get out of
Yeah, we'll let the gray bar. In the meantime, I appreciate everyone coming. Deanna Hargrove is the executive director here at the Civic Theater, and she has opened her doors and graciously welcomed us in. They just tore down their set, like literally on Sunday night. They just completed It's a Wonderful Life. They're waiting on this event and a board meeting after this to set up their second production. So this is a very, very busy theater, and I really am very thankful that she allowed us all to come and enjoy it.
Great venue. Let's see if Jennifer's ready to talk some more.
I think unless you're aware of it or you're plugged into it, you don't realize what is going on all around us. And so I think it's a tremendous opportunity for people to just engage a little bit, and then it's like you open the door and you see all the amazing things going on and all the possibilities.
East Texas Communities Foundation is proud to present East Texas Giving Day. This was held in May of 2016, and we were fortunate enough to raise
there you are in lights from last year.
So that will be up on the website shortly. It has a few little things still need to be.
So the details again about Giving Day. What is East Texas Giving Day? It is a regional online fundraising event. So there's not really a place necessary to make this happen. We're trying to drive people to that website. It's happening this next year on April 25th, 2017. And we've decided to do it from 6 a.m. to midnight instead of midnight to midnight.
Everyone should clap.
Yeah, part of that. There was a little activity right around midnight, and then everything went pretty quiet till 6 o'clock. So to keep us from all trying to pull a complete all-nighter, we think we'll start with the morning shows and the morning drive time at 6 a.m. and have just as good or better response from that. All right, donors can search for you and your organization by the name of your organization, by the city you're located in, by the county you're serving. Several different ways for them to find you on that website. There are prizes on the day of the event to encourage giving. So our incentive prizes, we'll talk about some of those in a minute. We've got a few to announce and others to award. So throughout the day, there are opportunities to focus your donor's attention on particular times of the day or types of activities, like trying to get new donors or that type of thing. Why are we doing this? This invites your existing donors, your volunteers, and your board members to engage in a whole new way of giving. So it's not 100% new people from the start. It's going to your base of people, your existing donors, your board members, and your volunteers, getting them to give. And then this is what we see, leveraging this social media event and just kind of the magnitude of the event itself to generate new donors for area nonprofits. That's what we've heard from other communities that have done Giving Days. That's what we experienced here last year as well. So it does work. Can't explain it. You know, it's like 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon or something like that. There's all kinds of networks involved here, and it's that social media and just the enthusiasm throughout the day that encourages new donors to come. It also gives us an opportunity to celebrate donors and area nonprofits as our entire region comes together and focuses their attention on giving and all the work that you guys are doing day in and day out. We focus on that one day to raise awareness. So, what are the results of other Giving Days in other communities? Communities Foundation of Texas had their Giving Day on September 7th, I think, 17th? 17th. This past year, and again, they set the bar for the country. Last year, they raised $33 million. This year, they raised $37 million. So they're still number one in the country on showing us how this can be done. $37 million, 2,518 nonprofits, some of whom I think are here that participated in that. If you participated in North Texas Giving Day because you got a branch or something, all right, so it's a real deal. It really happens. And we're not giving up. We're not giving up till we get 37 million, but we're not giving up till we get a good Giving Day track record going. 142,000 donations they received during that time period. $34,600 a minute. 132 gifts a minute. $243 was the average gift, and they used our friends at Kimbia to pull that off in September of 2016. The same group we used in May of 2016 and didn't have as good a results on the technology end. Other groups, San Angelo participated with us in May. They had a year under their belt and they hit their $1 million goal. 135 charities participated there, 4,263 gifts. So San Angelo is kind of what we look to. What could East Texas do? San Angelo is a little more in our wheelhouse of the type of results we ought to see. 25% of their donors indicated as first-time donors. Their average gift amount was $200. North Louisiana had Give for Good, also on May 3rd this year. It was their third event. They raised $1.76 million, 180 different charities. Arkansas Community Foundation is going to do their third and final Giving Day in 2017. They raised $4 million this last year when they did that. They used a different vendor other than Kimbia and use a different day. This will be happening probably in early April.
It's April 7th.
Yeah, so they overlap a little bit with us with influence in the Texas County area.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Were those meeting days in May, were those on the same day as ours?
Yes.
Yes, well, these two were, Arkansas Community Foundation had a different day. Yeah, so San Angelo and North Louisiana went through that with us, as did, there were 47 organizations in total that participated on May the 3rd.
Is that why we had such an issue?
Perhaps, that's not what they're saying the reason was, and if you look at these statistics, you know, when the system's working right, it can handle the volume. Did 142,000 transactions
Fixed by September.
in that one day. Yeah, and then it went down again on them in November. So, yeah, so,
For Minnesota Gives. Minnesota is a statewide giving day, and it happened early
Yeah.
November, and their site crashed from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
so before we get done, we'll tell you what we're doing about that. So, at the end of the day, for us, once we went through what was raised online and then contacted each and every one of you that participated, figure out what people scrambled to you to do on that day, we raised $479,000 on that day. 36% of our donors, and this was all just the online traffic, 36% of the donors were new donors. So that hit an important target that we wanted to hit. 225 nonprofits participated. Our hope was to get 150 the first year. We had 225 participate, 197 actually received contributions. So it was effective. 32 counties were involved in ours. We received gifts from 22 states and 2 foreign countries. $114 was the average gift size, which is also pretty healthy. A lot of these average around $100, and we were a little higher than that. So $109,000 in matching funds were raised by your organizations, putting those dollars up, and we've seen how effective that is as a strategy. We'll hear more about that today. 51 different charities had those matching dollars. So who raised what on East Texas Giving Day? $186,000 was raised by human service organizations, $110,000 by education charities, $65,000 in the healthcare area, $44,000 in arts and culture, $41,000 youth development, $20,000 for the animals, $13,000 for community improvement, and $150 for the environment. So the environment needs to pick it up. But that's kind of where we're maybe a pie chart on that. The big winners for us on East Texas Giving Day. First, on the day itself, using the technology and using the programs that were coordinated through that technology, we awarded and have actually already paid out gifts for the early bird. That was Alzheimer's Alliance, so they received the $150 incentive for getting the early bird. That was at 12:00:00:01 something. There was another early bird. The GM2 Foundation received a $150 award for that. The KLTV KTRE Storm Tracker Sunrise Prize was won by Hallsville ISD. They got a $200 bonus for that. We'll hear more about their activities today. And then the New to You prize was for the ETMC Foundation. That was for a number of new donors to that organization, and they received $150. So that left us with quite a bit of prize money left to go because the system crashed on us about 9 a.m. So today, we're going to try to make up for that. And first of all, the first prize for the most overall money raised goes to Promise Academy. So come on up here. Good money for you today. Thanks for your work at Promise Academy. We're going to hear more. This is our front row of VIPs. They're going to tell us how they did it today. So if I'll quit rambling. The next prize, they raised $30,855. $7,000 of that was matching funds that they met that day. So that's what they're going to talk to us about. Their average gift size was $1,342. The most first-time donors went to the Longview Arboretum, who's their representative. thank y'all for participating in last year. There's a check for you for that. 37 new donors and 55 gifts for our technology quit on us. $4,475, and their average gift size was $80. The largest average gift amount went to East Texas Crisis Center. I saw Lana somewhere. She's hiding. East Texas Crisis Center. They raised $20,800. $2,600 was their average gift size. So, that's what happened last year. What are we going to do this next year? We're going to have an effective 18-hour giving day is what we're planning to do this next year. What's it going to look like? We have selected a new vendor to help us do that. Yeah, go ahead. We've checked them out. They do exist. Holly and I went by their offices and met them. They're based in Denver, Colorado. We had a conference up in the area and went by and saw them in their faces. Now, you don't want to see their faces because it looks like, your children. They know what they're doing. They've had 15 years of experience in managing this kind of thing, online payment processing. They've got impressive architecture. That's one thing we learned after Giving Day that we didn't know anything about is what's your backup and what's your backup's backup and what's the backup for that. So they've got redundancies and backup protection, including, for example, if the system quits. That was our problem with Kimbia. The system was not processing anything, and there was no other place to go. So one of the things that they created, there's the system that's got all the bells and whistles and can do all the fancy things for us and keep track of everything that happens during the day. There's also another system that they will build that just does transactions that day that will be ready to turn on if we need it. Not intending to use that, but they do have that type of backup protection. They hosted statewide Colorado Gives Day. This December 6th raised $33 million in one day for Colorado Gives. So our event should probably be a walk in the park for them. They hosted Omaha Gives in May, raised $8.9 million. Amplify Austin about $8 million in March of last year. And they've got a good relationship with the Credit Card Processing Center, so the fees are a little lower on the credit card processing as well. They also, as a result of East Texas Giving Day, we started meeting weekly after Giving Day with a number of other nonprofits that went through that experience with us. And out of that group, about 22 organizations that we were on the phone with weekly after that, 47 that participated, about 17 of those organizations have gone to Civicor, including Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh called off their event on Giving Day because it was not meeting their expectations. They redid their event this fall with Civicor and had a successful event. So we were pleased with Civicor. There are some increased features and functionalities, which we'll talk about as well. So the new date this year, to avoid everything else that happens to be going on May the 2nd, when Kimbia tries to do that again, we're doing ours on April 25th, and we hope it's quiet as a mouse in Denver, Colorado. Our own standalone date for that. There's a new website design, so it's going to have many of the same features and a lot of the same look, but it's going to be slightly different because it's a little bit different vendor. New hours, 6 a.m. to midnight instead of midnight to midnight. For all of us that didn't go through medical school and don't have training in how to do that, that should be a great benefit. There's new search features, so donors can find you by city and county and by starting to type in the name of your organization. There are additional profile pages for you. So you have 3 pages now. So there's that one landing page. You'll have 3 different tabs where you can put different information about your organization. Events, programs, and basic info, and then upload videos and photos and things like that. You can also do, with our new vendor, pre-scheduled gifts. So you can start working your groups ahead of time, starting on April the 10th, so about 15 days out. You can start encouraging people to go pre-schedule these gifts, and you can kind of watch. You can see the data on that. For example, get your board to pre-schedule all their gifts and hold them accountable, so that by the time you get to April 25th, you know, and you can start tweeting and Facebooking and all that about how many of your board actually participate in that. Great opportunity to get them to buy in and get them to give again a couple of different ways. You can also set your gift amount by describing what a gift would do. The default is still going to be a $50 gift, but the descriptor that you use for what do you get for $50, for example, Jennifer and the food bank would do that. You know, your gift of $50 feeds the family of 4 for a month, type of thing. What does $50 do for your organization? So you can give those examples. I think throughout the numbers that you said, there's 4 or 5 different options there, so you can say what those gifts of that size will do. Just another way to try to connect with the donors. What are our goals for East Texas Giving Day? We invited 1,500 nonprofits to participate with us. We hope to get about 200 plus again. So our goal last year was 150. Like I said, 197 actually raised the money. So does that mean that there's 25 that this really wasn't their thing? That's okay. If participating in something like this is not your thing. So we hope to get 200 plus again. We'll see where it goes from here. We've got a handful of folks that are new in the audience. 32 counties involved again, so lots of opportunities. Increased visibility of nonprofits provides much needed annual support. That's our goal. And raise awareness of philanthropy in general throughout the region. We thought we got pretty good media coverage throughout the day. I know I've never been on as many morning shows. I didn't know they all existed like that. But that was good for us to repeatedly talk about the event and encourage people to participate. So there's several deadlines. You know, when the nonprofits have to sign up, when people can do pre-scheduled gifts, and that type of thing that we could be talking about. We coordinate that media coverage for you, so we're buying, Hollywood's buying billboards all over the place. We learned about radio stations we didn't know existed, so we've got several of those going, and then obviously local TV, newspaper, the signs, things like yard signs and that type of thing. Our goal is, again, $1 million until somebody proves to me that with working technology, you can't reach $1 million. That's going to be the goal. I think we could easily do that. Given the fact that things really started slowing down for us about 9 a.m. on Giving Day. If we just made it to the lunch hour, we'd probably get $1 million goal. So that's our goal again this year, $1 million. Who can participate? Nonprofit, 501c3, public charity, in good standing with the IRS. So make sure that you're still on Hub 78. If you've got any question about whether you're verified, we'll check that out. Mary Ann will check you out. Located in or primarily serving one or more of the 32 counties in our East Texas region, pay that $100 registration fee. That still provides those resources that we use to do our media buys, and hopefully that is a reasonable fee for each of you. The new nonprofits, for those of you that have not participated before, there's kind of a 2-phase registration this year. So if you're a new nonprofit and you want to participate, you've got until February the 15th to start that first phase of registration. And that basically is you tell us who you are, and then we look up and make sure you qualify before you go through the whole registration process, only to find out you don't qualify. So first phase, February 15th is the deadline for that. Returning nonprofits then will have until March 15th to update everything. So about a month out to update your profile, get it looking the way you want it to look, and pay the $100 registration fee, and then it will be ready to go live. You'll receive an email invitation then to update your profile. So it's a different vendor. Not everything can transfer. The look, the way you had it set up, may not have transferred, so you'll have an opportunity to upload pictures again, but some of the basic data, mission, and some of that type of stuff you will find on the site when you get there.
Kyle, if we participated before, we don't do anything until we get that email?
Correct, and
That's
I should
correct.
send that to you tomorrow.
Okay, it'll come from you.
Well, it comes from the system, it'll have a generic info at easttexasgivingday.org thing, but it's coming from me and I'll send them tomorrow.
Yeah, so you will get that. We have a webinar this Thursday at noon. That's our onboarding webinar. So get somebody to bring some lunch in. Y'all sit around the table and go through this onboarding webinar to figure out what exactly the process, what's it look like, what the click-throughs look like, that kind of thing.
And it will be recorded and available on the resources page of the website. The website will officially launch in the morning.
That's your Christmas party. You don't have to miss your Christmas
Yeah.
party. So what's the donation process? All donations, again, go through eastexasgivingday.org. That provides all the tracking so we can see what's going on and watch the ticker go up throughout the day. The leaderboard provides all that. Gifts by organization, by dollars raised, by number of gifts, that kind of stuff will be continually updated throughout the day. I had some of my board members, I sent an email out to them last week on Colorado Gives Day and said, here's the link, here's our new vendor. You can see what they're doing with Colorado Gives Day. And I said, caution, this is addictive. And sure enough, one of my board members responded back and said, it is addictive. You start watching that and watch those tickers going, and that's what you want going on throughout that day. People to track their favorite charity. How are we doing? What do we need to do? The event website provides that security level, PCI level 1, that if you're hosting any type of donation page, you're familiar with that. So it's highest level security. Charities receive about 94% of each dollar raised. So there's a 3% fee to the vendor. So they make their money if they process the gift. Incentives in the right direction. And then there's credit card fees, which I think are a little bit lower this year. We were saying 2.5% to 3.5% last year. They're telling us they can go down below 2.5%. So we'll see. Credit cards always get their money first. What any of the rest of it. The smallest donation size again this year is $20, so a $20 minimum gift, but there's no maximum on that. One of the things that surprised us when you talk about credit card fees, last year the number of American Express cards that we used was really high. And that drove the cost up because somebody has to pay for that, and it's whoever receives the contribution via credit card. So we're looking for this new credit card relationship to keep those fees low. The gift acknowledgement goes out automatically, so there's no producing letters by any of us for that activity that happens that day unless you want to follow up with your donors. So the gift acknowledgements come out automatically within a few minutes of the gift. The charities can view and acknowledge the donors throughout the day and obviously after the event, so you can download those reports and respond as you want to with those. You'll receive the net donations within 6 to 8 weeks. So if it all goes through the system, it should be nice and smooth. What we ended up having to do last year was not fun in terms of setup. So 6 to 8 weeks. Will there be incentive prizes on Giving Day? Well, sure there will. Prize challenges, again, create excitement and generate some energy around the event. So we will have those again. Some examples are that early bird, first donation of the day, golden tickets randomly chosen at specific time frames, happy hour, most dollars raised in a certain time period, night owl, minute to win it, most dollars raised in a specific 30-minute or hour time frame, that type of thing. So prize amounts range from $100 to $1,000. So they're not big awards, but they're energy and enthusiasm incentive prizes. Matching funds. There's going to be another webinar in February on matching funds. We encourage you to put your own matching funds together. One of the things we're seeing with other hosts is a number of other hosts are talking about how do we get out of doing this every year. We've created a monster here. How do we stop? And one of the reasons is because of the way they've done matching funds. So we could, and there were people approaching us last year to say, hey, we'll put some money into that. We could create a pot of money as a community foundation for this, but that is really not sustainable. I would be going to your donors, asking them for money for this pot of money. I'd rather you go to your donors if matching gift is a direction you specifically want to go, and then it's sustainable. You can do a matching gift one year, maybe the next year you don't do a matching gift. Maybe the third year you do another, or maybe you have a donor that wants to do it with you every year, and it doesn't put us in a position of trying to compete against you, raising the pool, and trying to get an ever bigger, more impressive pool. So we want you to handle the matching gift. Select a donor perhaps that typically makes significant gifts to your organization and say, hey, would you carve out a piece of that that we can use on Giving Day and leverage that gift. Donors are interested in knowing what efforts you're expending to try to sustain your organization. Is it just them, or are there other people that you're trying to engage in this? This is something that donors, in a lot of cases, would appreciate. The fact that you're using this to try to find new donors and to try to find new ways to generate contributions for your organization. Those matching funds are going to be preloaded onto the site and shown live on that site, and they're going to be kind of declining balance throughout the day as people give. That matching dollar amount that's available continues to come down. And then spread the word. So you can use that in your PR for the event. If you have a matching gift, you want to share that via your emails and Facebook posts and tweets and that type of thing. All right, why should you participate? You capitalize on this moment in time. So I think there was significant enthusiasm. You saw from the video the different communities that was shot in Tyler, in Athens, and in Longview, and I don't think any place else, but there was stuff going on in several different communities and some enthusiasm around this activity. So one day, it's 18 hours. It brings a lot of focus and attention to nonprofits on that day. Hopefully, it's a way to reach younger donors that are dealing more heavily in social media, though it's swallowing all of us up. They were talking in some of the webinars last year about, so the person that checks their Facebook page every morning, I was like, who would do that? Now I'm doing that. So, sucks you in. So, folks like that, younger donors and older donors, as we try to keep up with our teenagers, we become part of this world. Levels the playing field. No matter what size your organization is, you can participate in social media. This is not what kind of resources you have to put on a gala. This is a social media event. It's a little more achievable for everybody. Again, it hopefully will help you acquire new donors. We saw that as a result, and you can see those people and identify them, and then you have their names and addresses where you can follow up with them after the event and cultivate a relationship with them. So, how can you participate? First of all, decide, is this the right fit for my organization? It doesn't have to be. It is okay not to participate in Giving Day, but if you do participate in Giving Day, we want it to be a success for you. So we want to try to give you some of the tools, some ideas on how to do that. Get your board and leadership to commit. Again, with that pre-scheduled stuff, you can hold them pretty easily accountable on that and not have to be scrambling to try to reach them on Giving Day, but get them involved. If you're a first-time nonprofit, you need to register again that first phase by February 15th. It's all available. The site should be live now, I think. We didn't check it in. Okay, easttexasgivingday.org. It'll be up tomorrow. Returning nonprofits have until the 15th. Create your strategy. What do you want to do? When are you timing all this out? How are you going to drive people to your organization that day? Who are you trying to reach? Notify us if you're hosting an event. We'll publicize the fact that there's an event going on in your area, in your community. Just let us know about it. We're not scheduling events in 32 counties, 50 cities in those 32 counties. So if you're going to do that, let us know, and we'll try to make folks aware of that. Promote, promote, promote. Promote your participation through all available channels. Facebook, Twitter, newsletter, email, mail. So we're hosting this event a little earlier now. This time last year, we were talking quietly to a few of you to see if we should venture into this. But now it's full-blown kickoff. We're ready for you to go. Hopefully that gives you a little more time to get this kind of thing in the works. Like us on Facebook to get more information about that. Here's the upcoming webinars. Onboarding is this Thursday. The admin page is in January. Matching funds again in January. How to make a video. We're going to do a short program on how do you make an easy video for your event, so that it adds a little more attention, a little more excitement, or a little more of a hook for donors that might visit your page. And then donation basics towards the end of March. So, with that, any more questions at this time? We're going to get some good details. Yes, ma'am.
On
It does refresh in real time, yeah, from what I was watching on Colorado Gives. It updates itself pretty regularly. I'm not sure how many seconds between refreshes, but it does update.
I'm assuming like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
maybe 15 seconds, but yeah, it does
Yeah.
refresh. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We still gonna have the thing on the square that day.
Yeah, we will probably do something on the square. I don't know if we got the square
We
reserved.
do have the square reserved at this time. It will be a much more condensed version of what we experienced last year. I'm assuming it would be a lunchtime event only, 11 to 1, somewhere in there.
Trying to focus on when we think traffic's gonna be using the square.
Yeah.
It's really not feasible to drive traffic to the square. That just doesn't happen.
And you don't want all of your
Tuesday.
resources spent standing stagnant. Your forces should be used that day to drum up social media awareness.
That's our takeaway from being on the square all day. Yeah. Let's try to make it useful time for us. Jackie, you're the champion.
Poor Jackie.
Hanging out on the square all day.
You were my square
Yes,
champion
ma'am.
last year.
On that giving platform, does it show the actual amount on the donor's side, or we have to log in as a nonprofit?
Yeah, you'll have to log in to see specific donor information. It will show the totals for your organization for that day, how many gifts, what the total amount is, but not the names of the donors. It's not.
What I'm saying is, does it show for other donors to see how much is generated already for that particular nonprofit in real time?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
the donor,
Right, yeah, so if somebody goes on at noon on that day, they'll be able to see that you already have 37 gifts and you've raised $7,200. Yeah, they'll be able to see that. And when they give you 1,000, they'll watch it go up to 8,200.
Mm-hmm. Those are the best donors.
Yeah, those are. Okay, we've got more prize money available, so we are going to draw some names. So we're going to do this a couple different ways. The golden tickets are going to people that persevered with us throughout the year last year. We're going to have another prize at the end for, there's a handful of new folks. I think there's about a baker's dozen of new folks that are participating. But for those of you that endured